welcome back to our Rockatar chord library. Great to see you, and I'm looking forward to teaching you this next chord, which is the G chord. I love this chord. And again, just to remind you, there's two G chords that we'll be teaching. This is the intro level easy G chord that whether you have never played guitar or picked up a guitar, you'll be able to play this chord within minutes, okay? And then you could take a look at the next chord for G, the next lesson for the G chord in the chord library, which is the full G chord, okay? But I first want you to get accustomed to this easy G chord because it's a fun chord, a lot of fun to play, and it's used in a lot of songs too. So let's get started. So here we go. We're going to take a look up here on the fretboard, and what's kind of cool about this is it's an easy one to remember because we're going to be using our third finger on the third fret of the first string, okay? And believe it or not, that's it. We're done with this chord. So I'm going to explain a little bit to you about it. But again, so we've got our third finger on the third fret of the first string, which is the E string, as you know, okay? And when we put our third finger on the third fret of the E string, it turns into a G. So that E string becomes a G note, okay? And we'll talk about things like that in later lessons. So here's the G chord, guys and girls, and it's really, really easy to learn. So what we're going to do now is we're going to strum the G chord. So if we take a look down here by the body of the guitar, get your pick ready because we're going to do a strum. And we're going to strum the G chord from the fourth string down for right now, okay? The fourth string. So here we go, and we're going to strum each string independently first before we strum the chord. So here we go. And if you can hear all of those notes, which you should be able to hear all of those notes, then you'll strum again all of the strings at the same time, nice and light, and you've got your G chord. It's a pretty simple chord, and it's a fun chord. Now, in case you're having some problems with the actual G note at the end of the chord, and you're hearing that clicking sound, well, you know what you need to do is press a little bit harder with your finger up here at the top of the neck, okay? So remember, pressing down with your fingering at the top of the neck is going to make a difference in getting that string or strings to resonate properly, which means to hear the sound, okay? Otherwise, you'll hear that clicking sound. But when you press down, now you don't have to press down so hard. You want to be easy, but you want to make sure that the string is up against the fret and it's resonating. And you can check that by just strumming the G string alone. So let's take a look at strumming again down here by the base of the guitar. And again, I have my third finger on the third fret of the first string. And I want to check to make sure that it's ringing out or resonating nicely. Is it? Yes, it is. So now I'm going to strum from the fourth string down. And I've got my G chord. Awesome. Here we go. And I'm doing down strums. And remember, we want to use our wrist when we're strumming, just like this. So these are all down strums. Okay, so let's go through a quick summary once again. Let's look at the top of the neck. We're going to be using our third finger on the third fret of the first string, pressing it lightly up against the third fret. And then we're going to check with our picking hand, and we're going to see that it rings out. If it's ringing out, wonderful, you've got it. If it's not, just press down a little harder. If you're hearing a little clicking, just press down a little harder. It's ringing out now, sounds great. And now we start our strum from the fourth string and strum strings 4 3, 2, and 1. All together. One more time. And that's our G chord. So thank you again for being here at the chord library lesson for the easy G. And when you get comfortable with this chord, make sure you go on to the full G. And by the way, just to remind you, you can always review this lesson again to get comfortable with it, okay? And if you're having some discomfort with your fingers, take your hand, shake it out a little bit. You know, take your time. Give yourself some patience. It takes a little while to get comfortable with the guitar, but as long as you dedicate a little bit of time every day for a few minutes a day, you'll be doing great. So thanks again. This is Michael from Rockatar saying I will see you at the next lesson. And remember, perfect practice makes perfect. See you soon.